Yes.
This hour just like zipped by, blew by, and in 8 minutes we're gonna launch the first of 2 today's specials, which we are so excited about. So prepare yourselves for that. We'll get you more details in a minute. But right now we're gonna talk about one of the all-stars in Andrew Lessman's line of product, and that is his incredible Coenzyme Q10. Unequivocally, the finest CoQ10 product on the market today. This is the CoQ10 200, and it is loaded with features. It has vitamin B12, vitamin C, and so much more. You can do a 30, a 60, a 120, a 240 cap supply. Give it a try if you're not taking Andrew's yet. It is the best CoQ10. You will fall in love with this product.
It is the most comprehensive CoQ10 you'll find anywhere. So if you really are seeking the benefits of CoQ10, you really want a comprehensive formula. So you're sure to get all the ingredients that enhance or support the benefits of CoQ10. Just as I spoke before about circulation vein support and its key ingredient diosmin, that over 2 decades ago, we were the original folks, I don't know of anyone else who was petitioning the FDA to bring that ingredient into the United States. Similarly, with CoQ10, back in 1984, I don't know of anyone else who went to the company, the only company that was making natural CoQ10 at that time, a company called Konica. I don't know of anyone else who went to Konica and who was importing from Japan CoQ10. Back in 1984, CoQ10 is one of those, we view it as perhaps among the most important ingredients to supplement, certainly the most central ingredient for energy metabolism, but I don't think most of us contemplated back in the 80s or 90s. We really think about it in the 2000s.
Right.
So back in 1984, it was a central part, the main focus of my product line because it was so important, and that's 34 years ago.
So one thing I wanted to mention, because I'm noticing it's not listed in this graphic. So this is a special formula of Andrew's Coenzyme Q10. So down here it's explaining this has vitamin D3 in the formula.
Right.
And as you call to order, you're choosing the size of the bottle, but then you're choosing, do I want 1,000 IU or 2,000 IU
Free.
of vitamin D3 for free?
The vitamin D comes for free. It's the pricing is really the pricing of CoQ10 on its own, and our CoQ10 of course comes with vitamin C, B12, and a full B complex. But once a year we do a special version with vitamin D, so we thought for this visit we'd bring along a little bit of that special version. There's probably only going to be enough for one airing, I believe, but you could choose 1,000 IU vitamin D or 2,000 IU vitamin D, and that would eliminate your investment in a separate vitamin D product, which say in a 360 capsule supply, that eliminates about a $30 or $40 investment in vitamin D.
Yeah, it's great. I didn't have to, because I'm taking the one with the 2,000.
Yep.
It's fantastic because that's just one less product you have to buy. We all know it's important to be taking our vitamin D3. So you just decide if you want the 1,000 IU per capsule, the 2,000 IU per capsule. It's a fabulous value. And again, the price is the same. That's just free ingredient that Andrew has added. So whether you do the 30, the 60, the 120, the 240 for $109. I mean,
what's interesting, back in the day when I first started making CoQ10 back in the 1980s, the rule of thumb was 100 milligrams of CoQ10 was roughly $1, 200 milligrams of CoQ10 roughly $2. So a 200 milligram capsule using that formula from back in the day would be about $2. So 240 capsules would be about $480. And we have old charts that actually reinforce that pricing. And then if you look at the fact that each of ours comes with a bonus of non-acidic vitamin C, it comes with a full B complex, our special B12, which is an orally absorbable B12, so you get all the benefits of B12 without needing a B12 injection. So it truly is the most sophisticated CoQ10 you're going to find, and our price on CoQ10, it hasn't just gone down over the last 34 years. It's plummeted.
Right, look at this. This is 2000 to 2006. And so if it were the same formula back then, here's what our pricing would have been. That would be the price to get the same ingredients that you were getting today for $109.90.
No, that's why I've been not just proud of the quality and the uniqueness of this formula. Again, it's another product that's virtually perfectly reviewed. I think it's about 95% positive reviews. But also the fact that it's become more and more affordable. CoQ10, think about it, CoQ10 before was a product that would cost about $2 a capsule or $3 or $4 a capsule for high potency